In this video, I wanted to show you how you can create collection pages that are optimized for SEO in Shopify. Now, this is my little Shopify on-page SEO checklist. I've referenced this a lot in my previous videos. And I always talk about where to put things and how to do things and whatnot. So in this video, I'm going to actually show you how to implement that in your Shopify store. And hopefully you can follow along and do it yourself. So I've jumped into this test account here. And if we jump across to products, and today we're going to look at collections. So first of all, I'm going to go to automated collection. Now let's just have a look at this one here. Now I don't know why my face has disappeared, but nevertheless. Now a lot of Shopify stores will have collection pages like this, where you've got maybe a heading, maybe you don't, and you've simply got a product grid, and that is it. Now what we want to do when it comes to SEO, as I've shown in my little checklist thing here, you want to put text on that page so you can incorporate good content that Google and users find helpful. And also it gives you the opportunity to create internal links, which is massive for SEO. So what we want to do is we want to put text at the top of the page and potentially at the bottom of the page and make this page more in depth, basically, so Google can understand it, and then you're giving users more information. So how do we actually do that? So in Shopify here, I've written this little description here, but as you can see in the page, it doesn't show up anywhere. Like, this is all we've got is the automated collection, so this one here, and the description isn't there. So what we need to do is we need to actually make sure that this description shows up. So this is the, let's say, introductory collection description. Here's where it goes. So you'll find that you might put a description in your collection, it doesn't show up on your page. So what you want to do is you want to go to online store down on the left here. And once you're here, then you want to click customize. So this is where you actually change what your website looks like. Now, it can be overwhelming if you've never really dealt with this stuff before, but it is really quite simple. So what you want to do, go up to the top and find collections, and then find the template that you're using. Most of the time, it'll probably be the default collection. So we want to click that. And so as we can see here, this is the collection page, just with the heading and with the product grid. So we need to add some more stuff here because, as we said, there's nothing here. So first of all, you want to look down the side here and just click around to see, first of all, where you want the description to be. So what we want it to be is right underneath the heading 1 or the H1, the title of the page. And so what we want to do is we want to select this collection banner. And now if you go across here, you can see we've got show collection description. So all you have to do is simply toggle that and the description will show up. Now this might depend on your theme, but most of the time that is where it will be. If it's not showing here after you select that, you probably have to put some code into your page. But once you've done that, then you've kind of got your collection description. So that's great. And so if we click save and we finalize that, then we can refresh the main page and you can see it shows up here. So that is all great, but as we've got over here, that's kind of half the story. We want to add much more in-depth content below the product grid. So how do you actually do that and make sure that your page is SEO optimized? Well, if we go back to the actual collection, so once we're back in the collection, you can see we've got the description here and we've put the content there, but there's nowhere else really to put any more content to go onto your page. Now we've got down here the search engine listing, that's for your meta title and description, but yeah, there's nothing else here. And so what we need to do is we actually need to go away from this page and create what's called a meta field, so then we can add some more content. So if you go here on the left and click content on the side panel, you'll get to meta objects. This is where you can add meta fields or meta objects. Now you can go straight and add a definition, but what I recommend is actually just clicking manage first at the top right, because from here you can select where you're going to add this meta definition, meta field definition, whatever they call it. And so we want to add this to our collection page. So you can add this for products, you can add this for other things, blogs and blog posts, but we're adding this to our collection. So if we click collection and now we click add definition, then this will automatically create this within our collection pages. So first we want to name it. Let's go collection page, long description. You can give it a description for internal use so you know what it is. So there you go. And then you want to select the type. Now there's different things that you can choose here depending on what you try to add. For what we're doing here, we are often going to use rich text. Now rich text means that you can add H2s and H3s much easier. So that's generally the one that I use. And once you've done that, it should be all good. And then we want to click save. Now you can see that the definition is created. We have got here this custom.collection page long description. Now this is the piece of code that we're going to use later to create it onto our collection page. But now that we've done that and it's in the collections, you can see here, collection metafield definitions. If we go back to the collection page, it should be there now for us to add content. So now that we're in the collection, if you scroll down, you'll see now there's this section called metafields that has populated because we have put the collection page description in this title here. Now, what you do, you can click in here and this is where you can add your longer description. So I'm just going to generate one quickly here. So now I've generated that. I just got ChatGPT to write up something for me. You can see within here that we've got different headings. So we obviously want to change this from a H1 to a H2. And then if we scroll down, you've got more H2s, you've got H3s and so forth. So it gives you the flexibility to kind of change things much easier. So that's why I often use rich text. So now that this is done, we'll just fix this formatting. So now that this is done, you want to save your collection. And now we want to go back to the collection page and we want to see if this is there. And you can see on the collection page, we've got the other description, but this new one that we've just created is nowhere to be seen. So what we need to do is we need to go back into the page and add this as a field. So again, go to your online store and your themes, click customize, find the collection template that you're working with. Now from here, we want to add something. So we want to add a section below the product grid. So as we showed before, when you created that meta field, there was a specific piece of code that was created. And so what we want to do down here is we actually want to add a section. So once you select add selection, obviously you can create a bunch of other things. Now you might think you do rich text, but we're not actually doing that because we've already created it. So what you want to find is actually custom liquid. Now, again, this might be overwhelming if you've never really worked with websites or code before, but again, it is quite simple. So you see here, we've added the custom liquid. There's nothing showing, but in the right up here, we've got this little piece of, this text box that we can add things. So we can actually type in here and it's going to show up down here in the custom liquid. Obviously it's got no formatting or anything like that. But what we actually want to do is we actually want to bring in that meta field that we had before. So if you remember, it had a custom name, which was here, custom.collection_page_long description. Now you can copy this, write it down, but make sure that you have that. Now we can go back to the page. So now once you're here, if you add this to your custom liquid text box, then nothing's going to happen. It's just going to produce the text outright. So what you actually have to do is you do have to use a little bit of code to make sure that it presents the actual thing. So if you have ChatGPT, just ask ChatGPT to do it because it will just give you exactly what you need. But I've already made the code. I'll also put it in the description below. So rather than having to go to ChatGPT, you can just copy and paste. And once you implement this with the code, you will see that the collection page description that we created has now shown up down here. Now, the important thing with the code down below is you need to update this part here to match what you've named your collection page. So this custom.collection page long description, that's what we named it before. And so that is what is generating down here. So make sure that you change that for yourself depending on what you name it down below. But basically what this is doing here is this is generating a div class and creating, pulling in this collection field to then create it on the page. Now you can click save. And if we actually go to the page again, my face might disappear. But if we then scroll down and refresh, you can see it's down here. Now, first of all, you can see there's no styling on this as well. So it's going all across the page. We want to make sure that it aligns with everything else. So again, you can do this with ChatGPT. And the simple way to do this is basically just add some custom CSS. So there's lots of ways that you can get away with doing this. But if you see under here, we've got custom CSS. So if we click in there, we can add in some code that just adjusts the collection page description. You can play around with it there. Now, this may not be the best way to do it, but it is also the easiest. So I'd recommend just going with that. To start with, simply click save, and then your collection page is going to be aligned. Now, again, there's a lot more styling you can do within that collection page CSS, but now we've got the collection description all center aligned at least and not going to the full width. So now that we've finished that, your collection page now has the ability to rank higher in Google because you have got the opportunity to add more content and more headings and so forth there. Now you can apply this for other things as well. If you have a look on the collection page checklist that I've got here, you can see sometimes we have FAQs and other things. Now, add the meta fields, play around with them, and just add those custom liquids, and you can get more and more things onto your page like this. Obviously, if you want to go deeper into it, you might need to get a developer's help, or you can click the first link in the description, book a call with me, and we can talk about me doing it for you. However, it is quite simple if you just want to get some more content on the page to add those custom liquids by adding different meta fields there. Now, the final thing down here is the search engine listing. So if you have a look at the page here, you want to make sure that you have SEO optimized meta title and description so that you make sure that you look good in the search results and you actually get clicks. And so this is where you do that down here. So if you just click that little edit button that popped up, then this is going to update the title and the description that's going to show in Google. So you might want to write something here, automated collection by our products. And then you want to get some more depth here. Now you can see it's got 70 characters as the max and 160. I generally stick to about 55 and 155 as the absolute max. And so you just want to write more content here that Google is going to love and people are going to click. Now you can see I've gone over the limit of what I normally recommend, so do what you want. And then you can also update the URL handle here. Now I wouldn't recommend updating the URL handle just for everything, because if your website has been live for a very long time and then you all of a sudden change that URL, yes, Shopify will create a new redirect for you automatically. But quite often, if you can keep the same URL, that URL specifically has some SEO kind of power to it already. So if you change it completely, you're essentially starting a brand new URL. And so even though you're going to redirect all this traffic and all this authority to that URL, it's not ideal. So make sure that you do this from the get-go. That's ideal. And then once you've done all that, your collection page is, SEO optimized, essentially. It's ready to go. Now, the last thing you want to do is index it with Google. I've got another video on how to do that, so check that out. But there you go. Now you've got a collection page that has a heading, it has a description towards the top, you've got your product grid, and then down below, you've got more content here. Now, finally, I should add, this is where we want to add internal links. And so that's where rich text is also really good, because you can come in here and you can say, highlight the structured headings, click insert link, and now you can insert a link to another collection page of yours. A great way to get some SEO value throughout your entire site. So there you have it. That's how you optimize your collection pages in Shopify for SEO. I hope you enjoyed. If you want me to do some SEO for your e-commerce brand, click the first link in the description. You can book a call. If not, make sure you subscribe and leave a like as well, so I know that you enjoy these videos. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.